What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hawk coming at you with the first video of the new season. Hope you don't mind the glare. It is really bright out today, but I've been really excited about the basketball season starting up. It's been a great first week of basketball. Saw some really good games, a lot of close games, a lot of really high scoring games this season. There's only one team that's kept their opponent under 100 points this season, and that's the Denver Nuggets, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But like I said, I've been really excited about the season. Have seen some great basketball. I plan on making some more videos. We'll see how, well I stick to my plans. But I wanted to talk about a couple of teams today. One of the first teams I wanted to talk about was the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, Denver's defense has been great these first couple of games, keeping teams under 100 points. They're the only team to do so. Every other team has given up 100 points so far this season. And Denver's been playing great. Nikola Jokic, I think he's decided that he wants to be a household name. I think he's decided that he wants to be a big man that everyone knows and not only real NBA fans know. He wants casual fans to know his name because he's playing great basketball. He had that 30-plus point triple-double where he went 11 for 11. Last time somebody did that was Wilt. So he's playing great. The Denver Nuggets as a team, they're just playing with a hunger that I feel like they didn't play with last year. I think they realized they missed the playoffs by just one game last season, and they said to themselves, we don't want it to be that close. They know the West has gotten a little bit better. They know a couple more teams fighting for the playoff spots, and I think the Denver Nuggets are saying to themselves, we don't want to have to look up, on the 82nd game of the season and say we need to win this game to go in the playoffs. They want to have their playoff spot locked up, maybe game 75. I think they're really going to try to fight to win these close games. An example of that was last night against the Warriors. They were up most of the game. At one point, I think they were up by 13 in the third. Next thing you know, the Warriors started doing their thing. Steph Curry hit 3 threes in a row. It became a very close game. The last 5 minutes of that game may have been a 3-point game, 1-point game. 1 point, the Warriors was up, Denver was up. It was a very close game the whole time. And Denver was able to solidify a win with a very crucial block by Jonas Jerebko. And it was a great game. The Warriors, controversially, had 7 seconds left. I think they were down 2 or 1. They didn't call a timeout. They had a timeout. They just inbounded the ball, ran down the court. Steph Curry brought it out of the court, dished it to their big. I can't remember who his name is. And then Denver was able to seal the game with the game-winning block. Great fought game by Denver. Another team I briefly want to talk about today are the Sixers. Now, the Sixers are looking off to me, personally. They beat the Magic, but they lost against opening night against the Celtics. Now, personally, I didn't think they were going to win that game, personally. But I also didn't think the Celtics were going to so comfortably win that game. Celtics didn't look like they were trying. Let me rephrase. They looked like they were trying, but they never looked under duress. They never looked worried. They never looked rattled, scared, any of that. The Celtics looked like a team who went to Game 7 in Eastern Conference Finals. They looked like a team who went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they looked like a team who wants to go to the finals next year. Now, the Sixers, Joel looks great. Joel is going to be Joel. I've heard some people say he could probably be a little more in shape, get some more wind in his lungs, so he can, get up and down the floor a little better. But Joel looks great. He dropped 30 against the Magic. That's not saying a ton. And he had a good game against Boston. My issue with the Sixers comes from Ben Simmons and Markelle. We've heard the rumors all summer. Markelle put up some shots. Ben put up some shots. I want to say someone said Markelle put up over 100,000 shots. And I just don't see the confidence and the jumper yet. I don't see a world where you have Ben, Joel, and Markelle on the floor together and Simmons and Markelle aren't shooting jumpers. I just don't see that being successful. Right now, the Sixers are doing this weird thing where we're starting Markelle for the first half, and then in the second half, he's basically a bench player because J.J. Redick gets to start in the second half. So he'll end the game with let's say 30 minutes, if that, But, for example, 20 of those 30 minutes were in the first half. So they play him a ton in the first half and then basically don't play him at all in the second half. If I'm Markelle, I'm going to Brett Brown and be like, yo, if y'all really don't have confidence in me, then let me start the whole game. just bring me off the bench. Let me rock my little 20, 25 minutes and bring me off the bench. Let me run that second unit. Let me, use my athleticism, get to the rim, get to the bucket, make some plays, because he can play make a little bit with the second unit. And let JJ stretch the floor like he did all last season with Joel and with Simmons. Side note, I hope Simmons is okay in that Magic game. He only played 7 minutes because about at the 4-minute mark in the first quarter, timeout happened. He went to the back, never came back. Apparently, he had some stiffness in his back. Trainers were saying he looked weird during shoot-around. He looked like a little off when he was, hustling back to play defense during the Magic game. So hopefully he comes back A-okay. The last team I want to talk about today's video, because I don't want to make it too long, is trouble in Tinseltown. What in the world happened in LA? Rockets versus LA. James Harden goes to the cup, gets the lay, bumps Ingram, makes the bucket. Ingram then pushes James Harden. James Harden said, "I'm out of here," and was going off that. And then Chris Paul and Rondo go into it. Apparently, allegedly, Rondo spat in Chris Paul's face. And it just wasn't a good look. Ingram suspended 4 games. I want to say Chris Paul suspended 3 games and Rondo for 2, or vice versa for Rondo and Chris Paul. Both the Lakers and the Rockets, to me, aren't looking like what people let me rephrase. The Lakers are looking fine. I think people weren't expecting much of the Lakers. They're still going to make the playoffs. They're finding ways to play well together. LeBron's teaching them the ways. Rondo's teaching them the ways. They're playing very well together. With Rondo being out, Lonzo will get a start back these next couple of games. And honestly, I think if Lonzo plays well, he can solidify his starting role and start the rest of the season, which I hope he does. I want Lonzo to start personally. The Rockets, on the other hand, aren't looking the same way they looked last year. I think last year's Rockets played with a chip on their shoulder to show that Harden and CP3 could play well together. I don't think they're playing with that same chip on their shoulder. I think they're kind of have a whatever attitude coming in, because they lost a lot of defense. Trevor Ariza and Bao Mute, they lost a lot of defense, and Carmelo Anthony's not going to give them the defense that those guys gave them. And so far, it's not even look like he's giving them a lot of offense. I haven't watched a lot of Rockets games, admittedly, but I just don't see them doing that well. Will they be probably a top seed in the West? Yes. And that's not where their issues are going to lie. They're not worried about seeding when it comes to the playoffs. They might want the number 1 seed so they can have home court advantage if hopefully they get to another Western Conference Finals. But unless they clean it up, I don't think they're going to get to Western Conference Finals. I think some teams have really gotten good in the West, one of them being the Jazz, and I'll maybe talk about them in a later video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and follow me on Instagram at Hawks Hoops. I'm posting some daily content over there, giving a more up-to-date, day-to-day analysis of, the games as they're happening. Because the videos, we all know, they come and go. Instagram, for the most part, I'm being more consistent on, so follow me over there, once again, at Hawks Hoops. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.